Wow, good day and hello everyone. Welcome to Innsbruck and welcome to Explain 12 running on Linux. I'm very happy to say that I'm back. In the time since my previous videos, which was roughly a year ago now, a lot has changed with the sim setup, and one of the biggest changes was in the summer of last year I decided to adopt Linux and say goodbye to Windows once and for all for my flight sim and also my main computer. The reasons for this is quite extensive, but it all started with Windows forcing me to apply an update which actually killed my SSD and also killed many other people's SSDs as well. And I've been thinking about ways that I could not use Windows anymore for a long time, and this event ultimately was the final straw. So during last summer, I spent many weeks rebuilding my computer from the ground up. I was due some hardware upgrades anyway, and once it was ready, I installed CachyOS, which is a derivative of the Arch Linux distribution. And honestly, I have not looked back. It has been such a transformation on so many fronts. I will actually start probably doing more videos specifically about running Xplane on Linux and helping others set up if they're interested in that. But what I can say is Xplane loves Linux and Linux loves Xplane, and one of the biggest things I was concerned about, and I think probably the largest misconception, is everything you're seeing right now is being powered by an NVIDIA GPU. So not only are we running Flight Sim very happily on Linux, but we're also powering it with NVIDIA, which I wouldn't have believed if I'd told myself that a few years ago. Anyway, this is not going to be a long video because there's going to be a very long video starting from next Saturday, as it is the annual Across the Pond event, and after a short hiatus it's back. We're heading eastbound this time, and I've managed to get a slot that will take me from Toronto all the way to Paris. So that will be coming up very shortly. But while we are here, I figured I'd talk about one more little thing that I've been working on. So why don't we jump on board this aircraft and start getting set up, and then we'll talk more once we're in the air. Okay, here we are on board a lovely Boeing 737-800. This particular model provided by Level Up, and we are here in beautiful Innsbruck. This looks like a very lovely spring day here in Austria. So let's get this aircraft powered up. Start the clock, auto throttles armed, front up the engines, engine stable, takeoff power set, airspeed alive,
rotate, positive right, gear up,
perfectly trimmed. Flaps up. What a beautiful day. Goodbye, Innsbruck. Okay, now we're safely up in the cruise, heading over Germany. I want to talk about a project that I've been working on for the last 6 months. One of the reasons why I've not been adding any new videos to YouTube is because I've been building a new tool for X-Plane on Linux, and you are looking at it. One of the issues I ran into when I first started transitioning over to X-Plane on Linux was getting streaming ortho scenery working. And prior to migrating to Linux, I had been using X-Plane's map enhancer on Windows, which had generally been working well, and I have no complaints of it. But at the time when I started using X-Plane on Linux, it didn't support Linux. And it's got some support now, but it's clearly not the focus of the project owner. The other issue with Map Enhancer is it's closed source, so if I want to understand how it works or even contribute some improvements, I wasn't able to. I had a few issues of it on Windows, which would have been nice to fix. Prior to map enhancement, I was using ortho, which I think for X-Plane was the first tool that actually did streaming orthographic scenery, and I used that extensively on Windows prior to map enhancer as well. Ortho was available on Linux, but the original project has long been abandoned, and it has actually been picked up as part of a new project called Ortho Continued. However, I wasn't aware of this. And so, stuck between trying to resurrect ortho and not being able to use Map Enhancer, I decided to start my own project. And that project is called XEarthLayer. And here it is. It's powering all of the scenery that's running in X-Plane. Now, mechanically, there's not much here that the existing ortho or Map Enhancer even don't provide. XEarthLayer provides X-Plane with a fuse, a virtual file system and user space that intercepts X-Plane's requests for scenery and goes to a mapping provider. In this case, it's using Apple Maps, but this tool supports Google, Bing, and a few others. Unlike ortho at least, this tool's written from the ground up in Rust. And the reason for that is Rust is a very performant language that operates far closer to low level. And this has allowed me to do some things which would have been more difficult to do in ortho, and I'm not even sure how Map Enhancer is implemented because it's closed source, but I haven't seen this being done in that system yet either. And one of them is GPU encoding of DDS. So all of the DDS resources are managed by the integrated GPU on my system, which massively reduces the overhead of managing the DDS resources as they get passed from network to encoded to disk and then to the main graphics card. And this on its own has been a significant performance gain for X-Plane. It's very easy now to fly around the world without getting some of the stutters that I was previously getting when you approach the boundary of the area that X-Plane had loaded. Because one of the issues with ortho scenery is it consumes a lot of memory, and it just has to, because there's so much detail. If we just look down at the ground here, this is all imagery that has to be loaded from the internet into memory and onto disk and then onto the graphics card video memory, and it's gigabytes and gigabytes. Roughly each area that X-Plane holds in memory is in the region of 12 to 15 gigabytes of VRAM, and when you change your location, or rather scroll out of the loaded area in X-Plane has to remove that from memory and then load the new textures into memory, which is more gigabytes. And depending on a number of circumstances, if it can't do that fast enough, it will cause X-Plane's performance to stutter. There's a bunch of other features that the other tools do, but I still find that I run into performance issues, and so XEarthLayer, its sole purpose is to allow you to fly over streaming orthographic scenery like we're doing right here, with minimal impact to the sim's performance. Now, there are situations where I'm still seeing the odd freeze up, but there are far fewer, and that's usually when the aircraft is flying into a corner where X-Plane has to load both rows and columns from the globe. But for the vast majority of flying, we just get smooth, buttery frames, and that just changes the experience of having XEarthLayer. So this tool's open source. It's currently only for Linux, although I think I will work on a Mac version in the near future. But if you're a Linux X-Plane user and you're interested in trying out a new ortho scenery tool, then definitely have a look. And if you do use it, then please make sure you leave a comment below or add a comment on GitHub and let me know what's working and what's not working for you. And if there's a problem, I will definitely get to it as quickly as I can. Next week, I'll be taking part in the 2026 edition of Cross the Pond Eastbound, and that will be entirely powered by XEarthLayer. And so, I will see you there. I hope to be making more regular videos now. There's going to be a whole series on XEarthLayer itself, how to set it up, how to configure it to get the best results, and probably talk about some of the things that I'm thinking about in the future. As always, I hope you're all doing well, and we'll be back in the skies very shortly.